Hey everyone, it's Sebastian. I'm working from home today, but I still wanted to get to the questions of the week. So when people enter our Facebook group, they ask questions and I'm here to answer those for you. So in the description below, you can see the link on coming in and joining us. It's free. Come hang out with us. As well as in the description below, we also have some other resources for you. So let's get into this. We actually have 6 questions, it looks like, today. So Alexis kicks us off and she asks, when it comes to building brand awareness and reaching more of your target audience, what social media approaches would someone recommend experimenting with? So go to where you believe your customer is. For us, our customer is Facebook, Instagram, though a lot of brands can do really well on TikTok, Threads, the kind of the latest trends that are out there. We've been around for a few years now, and quite frankly, like we're just comfortable on Facebook and Instagram, much more so than kind of the latest social media trends and crazes that are out there. And also, there's a skill that goes along with TikToks and things that we just don't have as far as doing the videos and all that. We don't have that. I'm sure there is a market for us to be on those as well, but we have to be able to use our time wisely. And we don't have unlimited time with creating social media content. So we go after where we know our customers definitely are. And the majority of our engagement will happen on Facebook whenever we post there. That's where we'll get the most amount of kind of responses from our customer. But also it all does go back to who your target audience is and where are they at. Our target audience is going to be, 35 to 55. If your target audience is 21 to 30, then you probably do want to be on the cooler, the TikToks, the Threads, things like that. So if you have time to try on all of them, fantastic. We just don't have enough time to be on every social media platform, unfortunately. But I would recommend just knowing, sounds like you may know who your target audience is, where do they hang out at, and start there. And then if you have more time, then you can, start getting on other ones and testing it out. Next question is how to select vendors who are reliable and carry quality supplies. So we have a supply list in the description below. There's a free resource. You can download a list of all of our supplies that we use to run our shops. And that could certainly help you. There's a lot of suppliers on there. We're not biased towards a specific one in creating that list. It's very honest. It's very transparent. And so the suppliers that are on that list is who we use. But also just sitting in some of the groups and seeing what is talked about. You should be able to align yourself with certain vendors, whether that's the ones that ship right away, the ones that might be less expensive, the ones that might be a little more expensive, but they have better shipping times, or they carry a wider variety of vessels or wider variety fragrance oils. There's lots of suppliers out there and there's lots of good ones out there. They just might not have everything that you're looking for. You'll have to check our supply list, but I think that it's probably 7 different suppliers that we're using on a very consistent basis. And then there's also some that are just kind of one-offs that we will just occasionally order from for particular items that we might not be able to get from some of the other ones. So that's how I would, going back, and if we start all over again, I would do the same thing. But I wouldn't just Google search a supplier, Candle Vessels, and then just go off of one that pops up because it might not be reliable. There is a lot of scams out there. We've actually, and I think I'm pretty wise when it comes to the internet, fell for a website that I thought was legit and it wasn't. Thankfully they no longer exist. And it was a Shopify. My credit card was able to refund us, but you obviously want to make sure that others trust this. So I would really just align yourself with some makers that you can see yourself having a line of candles that are similar to. And if you line up with them, just ask them who they use and see. I'm sure most people that are doing well will always be happy to share. And again, that's why that's why we have our supply list in the description below. Next question here from Lori is how to make this a professional, viable business. Work hard, work smart, make the right decisions that are thinking about your future and not in the now. Will often get kind of that vision of, the hottest thing, which isn't going to be the hottest thing tomorrow. we get pulled in a lot of directions, and I suffer from this a lot, where I want to do like, oh gosh, did you see that? Let's go do this, or did you see that? Let's go do that, and not sticking to like what we know. So when you find something that works, like stick to it, and then you can kind of build around it. But it takes a while before you're able to start building around it. We have, for instance, like this is our classic line of candles here. This is what we've had for almost 3 years now. And this is going to be it's our biggest seller. We reduce, or we introduce other lines of candles and seasonals and fun projects and things, but it comes back to like, don't lose sight of our focus. And this is still our number one candle line. And it also depends on what direction you're wanting to go, Ori, because if you want to go online, then to make that a viable business, you're going to have to know CEO. You're going to have to be able to take or get produced fantastic photography because you've got to have that. You have to run a website only business takes some work. You have to understand how SEO works and what you need to do to drive business to your website. In our All Access Pass membership, we're actually doing a workshop on SEO on websites. We actually just did a how to build a Shopify store or how to build a Shopify store workshop for our members. But there's so much more that goes into it than just a workshop, because we have to figure out SEO and know how to get organic traffic to your website. And you also need to know how to run ads for your website if that's an avenue that you want to go down. So I think so many people will pivot from their business too soon. So, my website didn't work, so now I'm going to just go back to focusing on markets. And I'm going to do markets until the weather's not good anymore. And then I'm going to try wholesale. And after a few weeks of trying wholesale, that didn't work, so let's try something else. You can succeed in all of them, and you can succeed in many of them. I would say that we succeed really well in our customer retention of our brick and mortar stores, our wholesale area. We do well in that. Our online, we do well in that. A lot of it has been generated from our customer acquisition from markets in person, but it's growing and growing, and it takes time. But now we're starting to get orders coming in from the SEO that I have time to work on and things like that. So it's figure out kind of what fits your lifestyle. If you want a brick and mortar store, then go after that. Once you have that, it's relatively easy, because if you're in the right location, you're going to get customers to come in. But then there's the other side that's not easy, is that retention of making sure that you can manage a team that will make sure that every customer experience is top notch. So every avenue that you can explore to go down, it's going to have its challenges still. So it really depends on what direction you want to go. Donna asked, how do I start? There's so many different ways on the internet. Get a candle making kit to see if you enjoy it. See if it's something that when you make those first candles, which most likely they're not going to be good. Ours were a disaster several times until we stepped back, looked at what we did, and then started to move forward slowly. But get a candle making kit that's going to have all the stuff for you. Don't spend a lot of money on a bunch of supplies. Have fun, see if it works, and see if you're going to enjoy it. Some people are like, oh yeah, that's not what I wanted to do, and they don't enjoy it. But I think one of the main things to do is align yourself with someone. Hop in a community, see where there's other people that are just one step in front of you doing what you want to do, and see if you can't align with them and say, hey, and partner with them and say, hey, I would love to learn alongside you, because the way I make candles and the way this person makes candles and that person makes candles, they're all right. None of us are wrong, but we're probably doing them a little bit different. And so when you see people that are disagreeing about how do I get the tops to be so smooth, or how do I get rid of a wet spot in this, you're going to get so many different, or what's the best wax, or who's the best fragrance oil supplier, all of that. You're going to get so many different answers, where you'll save so much money and time if you just kind of hop in with someone and kind of follow along and see what they do, and build trust in someone. I think that's what people do whenever they've gone through our candle making course. You can learn from other people. You can learn from us. People have learned other places, and they come and learn our way of doing it. And they pick up stuff, even if they're a seasoned maker. But that doesn't mean we're the only way to do it. There's lots of other ways to do it. You can watch, there's some fantastic tutorials on YouTube and that you can see where people make candles. So lots of different ways to go. It's just kind of having the tunnel vision of like looking just forward and not looking around too much. That is going to help. And also, I think the biggest thing with candle making is when you try something and it doesn't work, figure out why it didn't work. So often I feel like we go ahead and pivot whenever we don't like the results of something or we don't figure it out. And instead of figuring out why it doesn't work like that, I think this happens a lot with, oh, my hot throw wasn't good. So I'm going to add more oil to it. Or my hot throw wasn't good. So I'm going to switch wax. Or because of adhesion issues, I'm going to switch this or that. And it's like, well, let's figure out why it does that. And then see if we can just make some minor adjustments and see if that way we can then get it right. And then maybe we don't have to make big changes. I think so much time is wasted on changing supplies, changing suppliers, changing formulas, and not figuring out the why behind it. And that's, I think, what holds a lot of people back from going from A to B as quick as possible. All right. The next question is from Chris. How to get smooth tops after the first burn is my biggest challenge at the moment. So you shouldn't be really concerned about smooth tops after the burn, especially if you're using soy wax. They're always going to be kind of pitted and gross after the burn. And that's completely natural and completely fine. We've never been concerned with that. And we've never had a customer that's like, oh, I don't like the way my candle looks afterwards. Now, us, when we first started, makers, we're trying to make everything look and appear perfect. But that's just not a reality as far as how the top's going to look after it burns. I wouldn't be concerned with that whatsoever. Okay, and lastly, we have Barbie. She asked, what are the best products to use? That's super subjective. So it depends on what you mean by best. Is best meaning which products are going to give you the best hot throw when you're burning a candle? Does that mean which one is the most environmentally friendly? It's super subjective as far as what best would go, or the best meaning the best value, lowest cost. So it really depends on what you're looking for. And a lot of it has to do with the makeup of the candle itself. The wax, like a 464 wax, which we use a ton of, it's 90% of our candles. That's not going to give the best hot throw, just period. It's not. We use a coconut soy that is from Makesy, and we absolutely love it. And it gives us such a different kind of hot throw. And so if we're looking for best hot throw, I'm going to say go this direction with your wax. If you're looking for the best oils, that's super subjective. I think that Dulciera, Makesy, there's several that are just fantastic oils that we just love. There's also some oils from like Lone Star, Midwest Fragrance, and I'm leaving another other flaming candle, like where those oils are just like fantastic. But not everyone's oils are the best, right? And so, for instance, I can't even tell you which one we decided on, but like vanilla, just a lot of places they just doesn't smell very well. So we've tried like several different ones, and I'm not even sure which one Chad has decided on. But one supplier isn't going to always give you everything you want. So as far as other products would go, I think you can look at our supply list, but just seeing, any of the reputable suppliers are going to get you good products. Really, it's going to come down to how well you can make a product, because me and you can both use the exact same products and have very different results. Because if I don't understand how this wick is going to work with this wax and how it's going to burn that fragrance oil, but you do, and you understand that sometimes you got to size down instead of up, or you got to size up and not down, and understanding how to make it better, we can have way different products. So I would be mindful to make sure that buy from a reputable supplier. We have them on our supply list, but in any other groups, anyone that just has a good following that this isn't a scam, this is a legit website, they'll likely have some good products. Maybe not all the products are going to be great though. But just ask, honestly, ask just ask people, that you trust, and then have them tell you. We tell you on our supply list who we use. Um, that's it. Super quick, very raw, very unedited version of our weekly questions. But hopefully I got through some that will be helpful for you all. Again, description below has got a lot of information. If you like these kind of videos, if you'll subscribe, that'll let me know you like them. I'll keep doing more of these. Come join us in the group. It's free and you can ask questions and then I hop on here and answer those for you every single week. And then if you want to go even deeper with us, we've got our candle making course, our wholesale course, and then also our all access membership where we actually work every week with you in a small group. So hopefully this has been helpful to you. Have a fantastic week and we'll talk soon.